So welcome back to the channel. This is 401k Guru, and we're going to do a basic walkthrough of what is a 401k plan. This will be the introduction, kind of just brief overviews, and then in future videos we'll get into more specific topics and breakdowns. So to start it off, what is a 401k? 401ks are employer sponsored retirement savings accounts. So, step one is you need to be employed by a corporation based inside the US. This is a US based retirement savings plan. And then it helps people invest for retirement automatically from their paychecks directly. How this works, right? Again, touching base on how money comes directly out of your paycheck and contributes automatically to your plan. A lot of the times, people get confused because they're like, "Oh, where's this money going?" So just know it does come out of your paycheck prior to getting taxed, depending on the type of contribution source that you're doing. Employer match. So a lot of people look at this as free money, and this may be the number one reason why you should contribute to your company's 401k plan. It is money that your company is putting in and matching you. So as an example, let's just say your company matches 100% of the first 4% you contribute. If you're not contributing 4% to your paycheck, you're losing out on quote unquote this free money. So make sure you're always checking your plan summary description to kind of see how much your company is willing to match so that you can take advantage of that match. Something to also note is that there is vesting schedules involved with this depending on the company you work for, right? So one company could say, hey, whatever we match, you'll get it instantly. Another one could say, you'll receive it over time. An example of this would be over a 4-year period, you'll receive 25% of the match for the first year, 50 after 2 years, 75 after 3, and then all of it will be fully vested once you are with the company for 4 years. Companies also can provide additional contributions like bonuses, annual bonuses to your plan. Contribution limits. So 2026 limits are $24,500 for pre-tax and Roth combined. It's important for you to know that this only includes what you contribute. So your company can put in as much more. Don't harp on the fact that, oh, it's all contributions. No, this is you specifically and what you're putting into the plan. You can put up to $24,500. Now, if you're over 50, I got good news for you. You can contribute an additional $8,000 as a catch up contribution to your plan. It's important to note some companies allow after tax contributions, and this can be a lot higher of a limit, but this would include pre tax, Roth, and after tax. And check out irs.gov for more. Investment choices. We have 4 main options within the 401k plans. This is equities, bonds, target date funds, and stable value funds. Something we noticed is that a lot of companies will suggest these target date funds. And we'll get more into investing. Again, not ever trying to give investment advice. Definitely speak to a financial advisor for investment advice. But target date funds are a wide range of investments that, based on your age, a company will put you into. It's very generalized in kind of the go to initial investment inside these plans. It's important to note that some companies allow self-direct brokerage accounts, which provide a much more broad diversity of investments that you can invest in within the 401k. This is why it's very important for you to check out your summary plan description. So definitely ask your HR team or your record keeper for your retirement plan in regards to this summary plan description. Common mistakes that we see. Not taking employer match fully. So a lot of people, they'll say, I don't have the money, which is totally understandable. But also they don't realize that they're missing out on this money. So again, check out your summary plan description just to let you know every plan's different. Some match at 100% for 1%, some match at 3%, and I've seen up to 6%. So just always check what your company is willing to match. Another common mistake is cashing out early. So cashing out early could mean a wide range of things. Obviously, emergencies happen and you really don't have a choice. But if you are able to avoid it, cashing out your 401k early kind of puts you in that situation of, hey, you're saving for retirement. Remember that you're saving for retirement, because if you don't, You're going to use this kind of like a savings account, which we always advise against. These are long-term investments. Waiting too long to start your 401k plan. A lot of people, again, go back to that. I don't have the money. I'm too young for this. You're never too young. Of course, you have to meet whatever plan requirements to contribute to the 401k plan. But once you are eligible, we definitely suggest to go ahead and invest into that plan. Now, investing also too conservatively when young. Again, these are long term investment accounts. You're not looking to, for example, stay inside a stable value fund when you're 20 years old because you have, in hindsight, 40 years before you retire. So something like a stable value fund that's putting out 1 to 2% return rates every year could slow down your growth and your compounding opportunity. So definitely talk to a financial advisor about the investments inside your 401k plan, or just do a deep dive. Most investments within the 401k plan, most companies offer what's called a fact sheet. And you'll just take a look at that to decide what investments kind of work best for you. 401k withdrawal rules. This is a hot topic. Again, a lot of people are curious, how do I get money out of my 401k plan? What options do I have? Again, this is a brief overview. We'll get more into this specifically, but something to keep in mind is there are penalties before retirement age when you withdraw from your 401k plan. An example of that is the 10% early withdrawal penalty. If you are not at retirement age and you withdraw funds from your 401k plan, on top of regular income tax, you will also receive a 10% withdrawal penalty. Now, if you visit irs.gov website, there is ways to avoid that penalty. I'm not a tax advisor, so definitely check out their website. But one of those guidelines would be the hardship withdrawals. So something to note is hardship withdrawals do exist. These could be for medical, for eviction, foreclosure, burial, funeral. There's a lot of options. Again, check your plan rules, check your hardship withdrawal requirements to see what proof you'll need to submit that documentation. Now, one of the most beneficial tools inside the 401k plan is a 401k loan. A lot of people see the word loan, they get nervous, they get scared, they say, you know what, I definitely don't want to do a loan, I want to do a withdrawal, not realizing that the 401k loan is one of the most beneficial tools within their plan. And I say that because these loans are not viewed outside of the plan. What that means is they won't show up on credit reports. We're not going to check credit scores to see if you qualify for them. You are simply borrowing money from yourself. Now, interest rates vary. Of course, sometimes I think right now we're seeing an 8.5% interest rate. Something to know is that interest rate does get locked at for the whatever you set it at. It's not going to adjust over time. It's not going to change. Whenever you initiate that loan, it will remain at that initial interest rate. And again, you're paying yourself back the interest, right? Not a bank, not your record keeper. You're paying yourself back. Another benefit of taking out that loan. And again, we'll get more into withdrawal and loan options. What happens when you leave a job? So you have really three main options, right? You can roll it over, you can cash it out, or you can leave it where it is sometimes. So as mentioned, roll over to an IRA, roll over to your new 401k that you have with your new employer. Those are always options. So if you don't want to remain and leave it at the current destination, or maybe they're forcing you out of the plan, you can go ahead and just set up however they do it, roll it over into your new record keeper. Now, cashing it out is an option as well. Remember, if you're not at retirement age, you could see that 10% early withdrawal penalty, as well as you got to understand you're going to be taxed on whatever pre-tax dollars you have inside that account. Leaving it in the plan really depends on what you have going on, and also remember that's why it's important to check out that summary plan description, because that summary plan description will let you know if you're, one, eligible to leave it there, and two, what requirements you need to meet to be able to leave it there. So what that means is, for example, some plans have a certain limit threshold where they force you out of the plan. An example of this would be, let's say you have to have $1,000 to remain in the plan. If you have less than $1,000, you will receive a cash distribution automatically. Well, that's going to wrap up this one. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. And as always, we'll see y'all on the other side.